level. This is why. Hey everybody, we're back with another video, and today a really surprising one. We're going to talk about the fact that a major league catcher has now officially come out and said, I'm not doing the one knee stance anymore. It doesn't feel comfortable. I'm not as athletic. I can't frame as well in the one knee stance, and we're going to get right into that shortly right away here. So remember, guys, if you're looking for help in the recruiting process, scan this QR code right here, fill out the form. We'll meet with you, talk what we do, see if it's the right fit for you. Like and subscribe at the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. That way you know when our new videos get posted or when we go live. We do daily live streams and do some live streams nightly after college baseball games. So I've kind of started and have gone on, and even some have finished. Appreciate all the support in this video. Let's get right back into the subject matter for today. Let's pull up this article that I actually just came across, scrolling through X, from the Orange County Register. Logan O'Hoppe finally got fed up with doing something that was uncomfortable, especially since it wasn't even working. The Angels catcher had always caught with 2 feet on the ground until he got to the major leagues and was molded into the one knee down style that has swept across the sport. The conventional wisdom was that catching on one knee allowed a catcher to get lower, which helped him frame pitches better. That came without any deterioration in blocking ability and fresher knees, right? So there's no downside to the one knee stance. That's what everyone, and those of you who follow baseball at all, that's what all the one knee stance guys say is there's actually no downside. You're actually more athletic. You can block even better. It's more comfortable. It's better on your knees, and you frame better, right? That's what's being said, right? So he says that came without any deterioration in blocking ability, fresher knees, whatever. Except O'Hoppe doesn't believe any of that was true for him. So a couple of weeks ago, he and catching coach Jerry Narron decided to scrap it. Since April 29th in Seattle, O'Hoppe has caught exclusively the old school way, with both of his feet on the ground. The numbers weren't as good on my receiving and blocking, and that pissed me off, to be honest with you, O'Hoppe said. What bothered me even more than that was that I didn't feel like myself behind the plate either. Narron, who caught for 8 years in the big leagues in the 1970s and 80s, said he's been a major league coach forever. He was a major league bench coach with the Brewers when I was with the Brewers before Craig Counsell took over. But he's been in the big leagues forever. Said he felt O'Hoppe was better when he began catching on 2 feet at certain times late last season, so he fully endorsed switching back to it full time. He's really, really athletic, Narron said. He's probably the most athletic catcher in baseball, if not one of the top for sure, and he moves well on his feet. It's a really, really good tool, so why hide it in the toolbox somewhere to not use it, right? He's a really athletic guy, so why are we putting him in this non-athletic, static stance? But again, this goes against the wisdom, a bunch of guys who, so there's some guys who have caught in the big leagues who are saying this, but it's a lot of guys who haven't played at a high level that are telling you the one knee stance is the best stance. And we'll talk about after the article kind of what my opinion is and everything like that. Just about every other catcher in the majors, with the exception of the Dodgers' Austin Barnes, who I played against in the minor leagues, and Texas Rangers' Kyle Higashioka, another one, now catches every pitch of every game on one knee. O'Hoppe has only caught 8 games on 2 feet, but the early numbers have been encouraging. Prior to April 29th, O'Hoppe ranked 30th of 32 catchers in getting called strikes on pitches defined as borderline pitches. Since then, he's 16th of 28. So he's literally cut his rank in half. He basically was one of the worst, and now he's right at the middle of the pack. And again, it's anecdotal, right? It's only been a few games. It's been like 8 games, 9 games, whatever. But there's a measured improvement. It's one thing if he had gone from 30th to like 26th. He's gone from 30th to 16th. I feel like it's been better, O'Hoppe said. I've noticed a couple more calls, and I think that's all that matters. O'Hoppe said in particular that misfires when he is set up on the inside corner and the pitch comes over the outside corner. So the guy misses his spot. He's set up inside corner. How effective is he at framing that pitch that's a misfire on the outside corner? When he is set up on the inside corner and then the pitch comes over the outside corner, are ones that he's better able to get called strikes now. For the season, O'Hoppe is in the 5th percentile in framing and 6th percentile in blocking, making him one of the worst at both. He's betting that those numbers will improve as he continues catching this way. So catching in the one knee stance for most of the year, he's been one of the worst catchers in the big leagues. And now with this move, since that date, He's gotten back to the middle of the pack, what you could call maybe 50th percentile around that. And he's betting that as the season progresses, his numbers are going to continue to improve because he's just in a more comfortable, more athletic stance. Getting back to my rawest form of catching, and it's been way more comfortable, O'Hoppe said. I felt more mobile. I feel less taxed, like my body's in a better position. I'm not moving. I'm physically not moving as much as I was in the past, and it's been a big change so far. Although it's counterintuitive to think that squatting would be less taxing than putting your weight on one knee, O'Hoppe said he felt like being on one knee was like doing a wall sit. Now he can actually sit back on his heels to get a break. He's also said there's less strain on his upper body because he's not reaching as much. My body feels way better now at the end of the day, O'Hoppe said. Nairn said others around the game have taken note of O'Hoppe going against the trend of one knee catching. I've had some other catching guys come up to me and talk about Logan and how good he looks being on his feet, Nairn said. A couple of them said, "Can you talk to my guy?" Now, again, this news is going to, there's so many guys out there. And again, like I've told you guys in the past, there's so many guys around the game of baseball because of like the analytics kind of coming in and really taking over the game. There's so many guys who have zero experience playing at a high level. And again, I'm not saying everybody that's pushing the one knee stance has played at a high level. There's definitely guys that have. But most of the guys who played before the one knee craze are almost entirely in agreement that you're just not as athletic in a one knee stance. And again, let's again step back and look at it from a 30,000 feet up view. It's one thing to have major league catchers and professional catchers who are again in like the top less than top 1% of players on earth. Guys that are in professional baseball doing this. They're the most talented. They have the best skill sets. They can get away with and they can have a lot of success in a one knee stance because again, they're still the best players in the world at that position. What I'm seeing at the amateur level are guys doing the one knee stance, and if it's not thrown anywhere within their body frame, it's a pass ball. It's a wild pitch, right? They have no ability to block it. And what you'll see is what a lot of guys will point to is that, well, the wild pitches and the pass balls, they haven't gone up they haven't really gone up, or they've actually gone lower, or the wild pitches in particular or the pass balls. Well, they've changed how a pass ball is also regarded, right? A pass ball now, when I was playing, if you bounced a slider in two strikes, like a pitcher is, the catcher's calling the pitch, telling the pitcher to bounce it. They didn't mark that as a pass ball if the catcher had the ability to get in front of it and block it. A wild pitch was only if the catcher had no chance to block it, right? Now they categorize a pass ball as, well, it hit the ground. It doesn't matter if it was right in front of the catcher. That still goes down as a pass ball. That's not a wild pitch, or that still goes down as a wild pitch. You can see how confusing this is for me because it's so much different than how it was always graded. And again, my biggest problem is this. I'm not against one knee stance, generally speaking. I do think there are certain times where you should not be in a one knee stance. And I'll say it like this. I see all the time now in big league games, in college games, definitely in high school games. We don't even need to talk about that, where it's a big situation. There's a runner at third or a runner on second in a situation where you don't want the runner moving up to third. There's less than two outs. You don't want to give them, a ball up the middle or a ball in the outfield scores a run, or the runners at third. You don't want a ball getting by in the guy scoring. Catcher's still in one knee stances. And then inevitably the pitcher makes a bad pitch or spikes one. You are like, no one will ever be able to convince me that a catcher is in just as an athletic position, or what some guys will tell you is actually it's way more athletic. They can get to any ball in a one knee stance. You're not in a more athletic stance with one knee down than you are with 2 feet on the ground. There's just no way. So we can argue all day about one knee being better for framing. Sure, maybe it is. And again, not in O'Hoppe's case. O'Hoppe's like, I don't even really feel comfortable doing this. Right? Which should be number one. If you're not comfortable doing something, you're not going to be able to execute as well. But even if you want to be in a one knee stance, I think we can all agree that in certain situations and circumstances in the game, you should move to a 2 feet down, as athletic as possible stance so that you can move both ways. The reality, guys, if I explain this to you, like if I can explain it to you like this, if I'm an outfielder and all of a sudden they start saying, actually, you're better with one knee down in the outfield. Well, I'm still going to be able to run if my right knee is down and my left leg is over here and it's kind of spread. I'm still going to be able to push off and go that way pretty quickly, right? Even if I have one knee on the ground. But what if it's hit that way? Do I push off my knee? Am I going to be as explosive going that way with my knee on the ground versus going this way with my foot on the ground or my leg? No, I'm not. None of you would say that. But for some reason with catchers, we just let these guys tell us that no, actually they're in just as athletic a position. They can block just as well to both sides. It's like no, they can't. One side has a foot on the ground that they can push off of. One of them has a knee. There's a reason sprinters start with both feet on the ground. They don't start with both knees on the ground or one knee on the ground, right? That there's a reason for that. And so I think if we can just be adults and have an honest conversation about the fact that one knee stance can be utilized with nobody on, maybe even with runners on first, but at a certain point, runner on second, less than 2 outs, runner on third, maybe we should go to an athletic stance. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. I think, again, we're starting to see this kind of old school mentality, old school coaching kind of come back into the game. What do you think? Maybe you think this is totally wrong. Maybe you think I'm completely wrong about it. Let me know what you think in the comments.